Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for another episode of Death Battle! And this time we have a surprising matchup. Carnage from Marvel versus Lucy from Elven Lied. Or is it Elven Lied? I can't remember. Anyway, point is, please click the link in the description below to go watch the actual episode itself. Also, go to the Rooster website. I think that's the link I'm putting in the description of this, because I schedule these and it's easier. Go support everything that Rooster Teeth does, and all that stuff. Although also go to watch this on YouTube, like, subscribe, all of that lot. Anyway, support the official release. Do it! Alright, so, how do I know these characters? If you saw my reaction to Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai, then you'll know that I knew Carnage, but I had no clue who the hell Lucy was. So I watched all of Elfen Lied, and turns out I actually have seen a clip of that before. A friend of mine sent me it, like just a clip, and it was of Nana. That scene was really painful to watch. Won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, though. So, anyway, so through things I've heard, I have looked up some stuff about Carnage as well, because I mostly know him by name and the fact he's Venom's offspring, but not really that much in terms of, like, backstory or actual, like, capabilities. Although a friend of mine did tell me that he's basically, like, just better than Venom in every way. Like, stat-wise, like, he's stronger, faster, that sort of thing. And I am a little torn on who I think is going to win this one. Because I feel like, from what I've also heard from the manga, in terms of Lucy, because the anime, it's only 13 episodes, doesn't cover everything. Some stuff got left out. Things weren't developed the same way. I don't know the whole story, but anyway. In the manga, Lucy has this, like, super mode, where her horns get longer, from what I've seen. And I think, yeah, I've seen, like, a whole bunch of... Oh, before I go into that, she has these invisible arms called vectors. A friend of mine tried to tell me they were claws, but no, they're arms. But they brought up in the anime they can vibrate at high frequencies to, like, cut through people, basically, which is what Lucy does a lot. So, that was something I was thinking about. Does Carnage have some way to get past the vectors? And I don't think he does. From what I heard, like, he has a spider sense, but it's not like Peter Parker's, it's more like Venom's, in a way. So he can't, like, detect everything around him like Spider-Man can. And from other stuff I've heard of Carnage, some abilities and feats. Like, this one I'm going to bring up. A lot of people I've seen bring up about Lucy is that she's capable of destroying the world, wiping out humanity. Carnage survived that. It was someone I heard about through a video, and so I went to a respect thread to look it up, and I had a look at the scan. Apocalypse made a bomb to wipe out the human race, and he and Spider-Man went to try and stop it, but the only way to stop it was for Carnage to, like, wrap himself around it, and then it went off. So he took a bomb that was meant to wipe out mankind. I mean, yeah, he was in pieces afterwards, and I don't know how long it took for him to regenerate after that. If it was, like, really quick, then... Ooh, just based on that, I don't think I see Lucy winning. But if it took a really long period of time, then I think Lucy can win this if she just, like, slices Carnage up enough to, like, overtax it. Because they've brought this up in Death Battle before. A death is a death. So if the character dies, and yeah, they might have a way of coming back later, they still died in that fight, so they lost. They brought this up for Hulk versus Doomsday. If Hulk could have killed Doomsday, yeah, then Doomsday might have come back and been forever immune. He still died in the fight, so that would have made Hulk the winner. Same goes for Virgil versus Sephiroth, and that's also how Starscream versus Rainbow Dash turned out. So, yeah, even if Lucy can't put Carnage down permanently, she'll still win the fight. But I also heard some things about other things about Carnage. One being that I should explain why I heard this specifically. I was watching the RTX stream, so I have seen a good chunk of the analysis and the fight animation. I don't remember a whole lot of the fight animation, but there was an ability of Carnage that stood out to me. I think they brought up that if he cuts someone, he can leave a part of the symbiote in that person's blood and control them. So if he can do that, then in theory, all he has to do is get like one lucky shot in, and then he's won. And I think another weakness Lucy had in the anime, although I'm not sure if she has that in the manga based on other things I've heard. If she's in a state of pain, she can't use her vectors, although that might have just been for other Dicloni, not specifically Lucy. I can't really remember too well. So, point is, I'm torn. I see ways for Lucy to win. I see ways for Carnage to win. Don't really mind too much either way. So, episode should be out by now anyway. That's how I'm recording this. That's why I've been going on for so long. Really? I just refreshed. It's still not out yet? Come on. Anyway, whilst I'm refreshing, I'll just try and keep talking. Oh yeah, thanks to the RTX streams, I know what... Oh, actually, no, rather than saying it like that. Well, yeah, I did see the good chunk of the analysis and the fight animation. I was thinking to myself, perhaps doing the RTX stream, maybe now that they're showing a lot of the episode, perhaps stop and don't watch this before the reaction. But I also thought, nah, I want to see what the next time is if they're showing it. So I know what the next fight is and what episode 99 is, which is a live action fight. I do not know what episode 100 is. They did not say that, aside from the fact it's a hand-drawn fight by Blind Ferret. Almost started myself there. Anyway, the episode is out. Or it should be. Yep. It is. Lord, you bastard. There we go. Anyway, with that finally said and done, I am going to put my headphones on. I'm actually using the Ruby headphones this time for a Death Battle reaction. And I'll shut up and hit play.
If my ex-wives have taught me anything, it's that there's no real limit to crazy.
Like Carnage, Marvel's dangerously insane psychopath.
Or Lucy, the messed up murder lady from Elfenlied.
Elfenlied, German.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I made that same mistake too.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons,
Armor and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Oh, by the way, I really like the theme that's in the fight preview.
Adult, because his entire family was already crazy. While Cletus was just a boy, his father got sent to jail for killing his mother.
Which he did because she had tried to kill Cletus.
Which she did because Cletus had tortured and killed her dog, Fifi.
Well, go Miss Cassidy. All dog murderers deserve death, even if they're 8.
Jesus
right, Jack
Christ.
Good boy. Oh, and Cletus murdered his grandma too, cause she was kind of a bitch.
He didn't stop there
This
and
is
wound up burning down his
fucked
own
up.
orphanage. Years later, he was finally arrested and convicted for 11 murders.
You mean the 11 murders they knew about?
But while in prison, Cletus found that he wasn't alone. In fact, his cellmate just so happened to be Eddie Brock.
Who you may know is that creepy
Yep.
guy covered in black ink called Venom.
I remember.
That ink is actually a symbiotic alien known as a Clintar. This symbiote bonded with Eddie, transforming him into a powerful and violent rival for the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
But what Eddie didn't know was, it was pregnant. Oh, time to go out for cigarettes, Eddie.
Well, symbiotes actually reproduce asexually.
Extremely
When Eddie
immature.
became Venom
Okay.
once again, the symbiote sort of oozed out its spawn and left
Ew.
it there.
Just like me and my dad. Well, this new symbiote immediately attached itself to Cletus, but unlike the Venom one, it merged through a cut on his skin.
Oh, yeah,
making this
that.
suit made out of blood. Ew, that doesn't seem sanitary.
This
And
guy can
together,
regenerate
they
from a
became
drop of blood.
A fitting name for a psycho mass
If you think
murderer.
Wolverine's healing is
Cletus and his
broken,
new
try
symbiote
this guy.
quickly got up to what they knew best, creating maximum carnage. Remember that game? It was great.
And with his new superpowers, he was a
Oh, it's a
vicious
perfect
force to be
union.
reckoned with. He has the same superhuman strength, speed, and durability as Venom, and supposedly even greater. Like
Yep,
the
that's
Venom
what a
2.0.
friend told me years
He can
ago.
shapeshift to make all sorts of killer weapons, like axes, swords, and spikes. He can even rip those weapons off himself or launch them at his victims. Have you ever tried ripping your fingers off and throwing them at people?
Can't say that.
Just kind of what
He
Carnage
fought
does.
Batman.
The symbiote can also reach out with dozens of chaotic, blood-soaked
Wasn't aware of
tendrils,
that.
perfect for strangling the people he
Where
doesn't
were they?
want to see anymore. With a single
Possession.
touch,
Oh, and
Carnage
camouflage.
can
Oh.
infect a person with a portion of his symbiote,
I forgot about the camouflage.
controlling or torturing them at his leisure. He has unbelievable regeneration, and even if somebody finds a way to disable his suit, the Carnage symbiote lives inside his bloodstream and can come back out through something as meager as a paper cut.
Also, the symbiote literally sees everything around it. It's kind of like wearing a suit made of eyeballs.
But Lucy's
But let's say
vectors
you're
are
able to
invisible.
dodge his projectiles, outrun the tendrils, and get out of sight from the eyeball suit. You're still not safe. He will catch you because he can sprout wings and fly.
What the hell? Since when?
Since realizing that shapeshifting is a really, really useful ability.
So,
Fair
he's
enough.
able to fly, he's totally aware of everything around him, and he's full of blood? This guy's like a giant mosquito of death.
That's one way
Sure.
of putting it.
Carnage has said he's at least 10 times faster than the average man. But that's pretty
That's
much
bullshit.
because Venom has shown he can move fast enough to catch up to a bullet after it's fired. And Carnage is frequently shown to be as fast or even faster than him. This puts Carnage over 1,500 miles per hour, over twice the speed of sound.
He's lifted a 50-ton tank, and he can overpower Spider-Man, whose best supported strength feat was lifting that giant machine thing that weighed as much as a 1965 locomotive.
Which would put it around 130
Oh
tons.
boy.
And you know those weird tendril things crawling around his body? When he wanted to find a missing journalist in New York, he climbed to the top of the Empire State Building and just stretched them all out over the city.
He found her by this coastline, and this building nearby looks a lot like the consolidated Edison plant between 14th and 15th Street. That's about 2 miles away.
Jesus
And as a
Christ.
Thank you for saving her. She shot Carnage in the head. Well, fine. Save your own ass next time, lady.
He was fine.
Huh.
Carnage's durability doesn't come from a sturdy build. Instead, his form is malleable and somewhat fluid. Technically,
Yeah.
his human body still exists somewhere in that mass of blood, flesh, and writhing tentacles, but even when he's hit by a train, struck by missiles, or blasted apart by a tritium bomb, he can always just pull himself back together.
So long.
Pretty
as there's
much.
A piece of him still around. Given the size of that blast, it looks like Carnage survived a blast worth 125 tons of TNT.
Jesus.
Very impressive. Also,
I remember
he
this. This is the
smothered
thing I
and
brought
survived a gene bomb designed to wipe out all of humanity except mutants.
He's even survived being ripped in half and thrown into space. Seriously.
by Sentry.
What kills this guy?
Well, he does share the same weaknesses as other symbiotes, namely extremely loud noises and heat.
Well, until he traded the sound one for a weakness against some Cthulhu-looking magic.
Carnage has been through a lot, but with two minds as one, he always gets back up to keep doing what he loves.
Murder, murder, and, you know, more murder.
Yeah.
Carnage is chaos!
I saw that clip from Ultimate Spider-Man as well, by the way.
There are some mysteries the world holds which no one is meant to know.
Oh,
Every
little
day
warning here.
someone comes ever closer to destroying everything.
Lucy, not for the faint of heart. I will just say that now.
Is the Dicloni.
No big deal. They're just a race of crazy people who want to infect human beings to make more Dicloni and then wipe out all of humanity.
That one just.
Oh, look at the cute little horns. They look like kitty ears.
To accomplish this, the Dicloni would have to rely on their queen, Carnage, better known as Lucy.
Luckily for everyone,
Or
some
new
important
to certain people.
figured this out and captured her. And now it's time for your only warning.
Right, Lucy's methods, let's just say they're not for the faint of heart.
And
Pretty
let's
much.
also say that those lucky important people were about to get very, very unlucky.
Yeah. This was all from the first episode, by the way.
Jesus Christ, what's happening?
To truly understand, let's take a step back. As an infant, Lucy was abandoned by her parents and left alone to suffer a life of constant discrimination.
It was the horns, wasn't it?
Right, even the average kid hates growing up in an orphanage, but it was especially painful for her.
Until she found a stray puppy and decided to take care of it. That adorable little critter and her
Prepare
became
for
best
heartbreak.
friends. And then the other kids from the orphanage went out and beat it to death and forced her to watch.
That scene was so fucking
no
painful.
Shit, she wants to kill everyone. Go ahead, Lucy. Tear up those little bastards.
I was kind of cool. I was kind of fine with this.
Oh, damn.
This
I
was
said
the
kind
first
of,
time
right?
Lucy unleashed her psychokinetic vectors. As a Diclonius queen, Lucy is meant to use these vectors to infect ordinary human beings with the Diclonius virus.
Oh, but she uses them for so much more.
For simplicity's sake, think of the vectors as invisible arms which can sprout from Lucy's back.
Lucy can use up to 28 vectors with a normal range of about 6 to 7 feet. When she gets really serious, her
There we
horns
go.
grow and the vectors get way longer and stronger.
But that comes with a
Vibrate vectors at
cost.
different frequencies, and each level of vibration
I
has
think
different
I heard she
effects.
melts
Kinda
if
like
she
that thing
does
that my
that too long.
ex-wife had on the nightstand that I thought was one of those crazy pens.
At low frequencies, her vectors can
Okay, then.
pass through objects with no effect. At a medium frequency, the vectors become solid, like extendable hands, while still completely invisible. These can be used as shields and lift heavy objects.
Oh man, if I had
There's
those
only so
things,
much
I'd be
force those
messing with
things can
people all
take.
the time, like tying their shoes from across the room. Also,
That'd be a good way
seems
to do
be a
it.
thing in this episode, she can fly.
It's not really flying, she's just lifting herself
Yeah.
off the ground. With the third frequency, Lucy turns her vectors into invisible blades. These can cut through
Pretty
people
much.
and bend metal.
And with the last and highest frequency, Lucy gets explosive. No, really, at this level, they finally become visible and can strike with enough force to detonate. Damn, they don't call this chick the queen for nothing.
Unfortunately, Lucy is not always in control of what she does. Turns out she has developed several alternate personalities.
Yeah, getting shot
Yeah.
in the head can do that to you.
That injury specifically created New, a passive, almost childlike persona which exists as a coping mechanism for Lucy's trauma. As New, Lucy
Oh,
would
that
finally
scene where
find
she pisses
friends
herself.
and began forging a path toward hopeless redemption.
Unlike her third personality, the so-called DNA voice, which constantly whispers in her ear that she's got a job to do. Kill them all, Lucy, before they hurt more puppies. Ooh, spooky DNA.
God damn it,
Could
Boomstick.
do it too. Lucy's fast enough to block bullets from a point-blank range. And once, she actually saved herself from a bullet after she had already been shot. As in, while the bullet was traveling between her skin and her heart.
It looks like she's getting shot
Huh.
by an MP5, which fires bullets at nearly 900 miles per hour.
With her body type, the distance between Lucy's skin and heart is less than an inch, probably around 2.4 centimeters. Given the bullet speed and the distance her vector would have to reach from her back before the bullet hit her heart, her vector had to move nearly 1,900 miles per hour. That's over twice the speed of sound.
Huh.
She can throw a pen through a guy's skull. Brutal. And even
Ugh.
tossed this giant boulder.
When compared to this guy, Bando, whom we know is 6 feet tall, we can determine the boulder weighs about 75 tons. Her vectors are also tough enough to block a missile from the Air Force. While the exact model of missile is unspecified, it is fairly large and likely an air-to-surface type.
I bet it's one of the Air Force's SLAMs, or Standoff Land Attack Missile, built off the back of the Navy's Harpoon missile. In fact, a harpoon is used against a different Diclonius at one point. So this beast slammed into her vector at 500 miles per hour with a 1,000-pound explosive yield, and it didn't even phase her. Even without a vector shield, she survived a pretty nasty explosion herself, though it did knock her out.
Impressive, but how about the time she punched through an island? A strike literally compared to nuclear fusion. This kicked up a 100-foot tidal wave and a 9.2 magnitude earthquake. A level so high, there's only been 4 comparable quakes ever recorded.
Her vectors can be as wide as buildings and reach into outer space, except that's about when Lucy reaches her limit.
Right.
Yeah.
As a Diclonius, Lucy has a few severe weaknesses. Her vectors can be nullified if she's struck in the forehead, or if one of her horns are broken.
Also, if Lucy pushes herself too hard, she starts to melt. Kinda like ice cream
Yeah.
out in the Texas sun. It's not pretty. She's just a big puddle of goop with a face, but she's still a total badass, even at her meltiest.
While suffering agonizing pain, she was capable of single-handedly halting a massive military threat, while healing and protecting the person she loved most.
Kota.
Perhaps redemption wasn't so hopeless after all.
Hey, let's watch her kill some more people.
Oh, why'd they have to show this clip? Alright, that's the end. Okay. I'm really unsure, however, I think I want to go with Carnage. Because the strength stuff they brought up for Lucy, like the 75-ton boulder, I think they mentioned bigger numbers for Carnage. Also, the bullet thing. I think Carnage... Well, they were scaling from Venom, but they also said that Carnage is faster. So... Or at least he keeps up, so I want to say that it's faster as well. And then there's Lucy's melting point, but her vectors become visible. That should help Carnage a lot because he'd actually be able to evade them and whatnot. However, I think I heard that Carnage doesn't like evading shit. Like, he'll just tank it, although considering that she's tanked and regenerated from, I'm not sure if Lucy's vectors will be able to do it. Also, like I said, if he gets a hit in, then he could just leave a piece of the symbiote in her blood and control her and make her rip herself apart. Oh god, that'd be fucked up. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Carnage on this one. And whether or not I regret that is another story. But, hey, let's just watch a fight. That's it. Let's end this debate once and for all. It's time for a death battle! I love the hand-drawn stuff. Jesus Christ. I really like the voice acting on Lucy's part here. The Mew was really cute. I don't think Lucy's fought against someone who can, do this. Then again, didn't read the manga, so what do I know? Not getting in, but I feel like eventually he might. No matter what, he just keeps... Oh! Wait, did he leave bits of the symbiote in the vectors? Jesus. You know, I almost thought a train was going to come in and splatter him as well. Is he camouflage or just really fast? Oh! Oh! Bits are hitting her. Jesus. King hell. Oh, I think I remember this from the RTX preview. That was fucking creepy.
Get back.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, she's gone super.
Don't worry. I'll put you out of your misery.
Is that it? I don't see anything. So... Oh, Lucy won!
KO! First those kids at the orphanage, then Cletus. Lucy really hates dog killers, and for good reason.
Carnage was a challenging opponent. It was incredibly difficult for Lucy to deal any lasting damage against him.
He had the durability advantage in the bag, though Lucy fighting as a puddle proved she could take a lot of pain and keep on fighting.
True.
Sadly, Carnage came up short in pretty much everything else.
Right, Carnage was tough, but not invincible. Even his surviving that gene bomb isn't quite as impressive as it sounds, since he had no other feats to even remotely back up planetary-level durability, and the bomb was more akin to a biological weapon anyway. While
So,
Carnage's
an
tendrils could
outlier,
pass speeds of
basically.
Mach 2,
Okay.
Lucy's vectors once reached into outer space. By timing her accompanying monologue and comparing the longest vector's length to the curvature of the Earth, it's clear she reached over 2,400 miles in 20 seconds.
Jesus.
max.
Way longer than Carnage's 2-mile feat.
All this means her vectors were moving at least 440,000 miles per hour, more than 500 times the speed of sound, and 250 times
Okay.
faster than Carnage.
Good luck getting past that. And this was really the biggest hurdle. With Lucy's redonkulous speed and Carnage's healing powers, it all boiled down to one thing. Who could hit the killing blow first? I mean, Carnage could respawn from scraps, so the only way to beat him for good was to totally vaporize him.
And Lucy had the perfect answer to that. Remember that time she hit an island so hard she caused a 9.2 magnitude earthquake and a 100-foot tall tidal wave? Such a feat would require an enormous amount of explosive energy, approximately 31,000
Jesus.
tons of TNT, similar to the bomb that hit Hiroshima.
It's literally compared to nuclear fusion in the Elfin Light.
Oh, right,
Elfin
yeah.
Lied, it's
Of course.
German.
The point is, in order to beat Carnage for good, Lucy needed to totally obliterate him, and she could do that.
The heat produced within the initial impact of a
Okay.
nuclear explosion can reach temperatures up to 180,000 degrees Fahrenheit, more than 18 times hotter than the surface of the sun. And to top it
Fuck.
off, heat was Carnage's biggest weakness. Even if Lucy's
True,
explosive
yeah.
force was just a fraction of this, it would still have been far too much for him.
She just needed to smack him before he could power through her vectors, which chances were pretty slim for that happening anyway, because there's a bunch of them and they're so damn fast. Hitting Carnage with a big explosion punch was way easier.
Cletus and his symbiote may have had the endurance, but Lucy's space-worthy speed, overwhelming presence, and nuclear strength won the day.
She dealt the carnage needed
Fair
for
enough,
a total
okay.
victory and took the lead. There, I think that was happy.
The winner is Lucy.
Congrats, Lucy.
Thanks for watching. And
Oh,
if you enjoyed
Sam.
the fight, you can get a first membership and watch our commentary by clicking that box over there.
Thank you, Chad.
I love how we called him
Music
Chad.
From this episode, you can get it in the link in the description below. You're not Chad.
He said it too. like I said, I knew what it was. But that was a good fight. Lots of blood. Jesus. And while they go with Carnage, I'm just like, not really that fussed anyway. Not that attached to either character, so I wouldn't have really cared if I was right or wrong. And the points that were brought up, can't really argue with it. And I have to admit, I do wish I looked more into the bomb thing, because that was one of my big reasons for why I thought Carnage was going to win. But I didn't look in to see if there were any other feats that like back it up, or any like context after that. Like I said, it could have taken him ages to regenerate, and if that were the case, then even if it wasn't an outlier, then Lucy would have still won anyway. And they brought up in the sidebar that, yeah, like, odds are Carnage could have won as well. But, like they said in Strange vs. Fate, Death Battle looks at like, the larger picture, so what the more likely outcome would be. So, fine either way. And that is raining you're bleeding thing, that was fucking creepy. But props to the guy who played Carnage in that. And to the person who played Lucy too. Yeah, both did good. And that animation, like blending all the like sprites and the hand-drawn stuff, like Jesus Christ. Yeah, overall, good episode. And next time, Optimus Prime versus the Gundam. I don't watch Gundam, so I don't know which model of Gundam it is. But I think it's the one that was in Ready Player One, which I just watched today. At last. So, yeah. I know next to like barely anything about these two, to be honest, but I've seen a little snippet of the animation, and it looked good. Like, really good. And it is a 3D fight by Torian, just so you know. Don't really have a preference either way this time, regardless. I'm more familiar with Optimus. But the Gundam, as I know, is just a Gundam. The only one I really know that much about is Epion. That's because he was in a Death Battle as well. So, that's a thing that's happening. I'll be honest, because of the matchup, I think I'm looking more forward to the fight after that. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's one that I've been looking forward to happening one day, and no, it's not that most wanted fight of mine. Because I wouldn't want to see that fight in live action. But regardless, the next episode will be good, the episode after that will be good, and then I'll find out what episode 100 is. I'm curious about that. Anyway, this recording's gone on for nearly 35 minutes, so I think it's about time we ended it. So thanks for watching, all of that stuff, and here's my whatever outro I didn't use last time. Bye.
Hey guys, Goku here. You're watching Your Only Mate, and Your Only Mate is only good for the fact that at least he won't eat as much of your food. Catch you later!